Hey friends, Blink here with a quick learning moment. Today's topic is the refresh grant. Well, not that one. This one's about authentication. See, we're talking about OAuth2. So imagine you're visiting a secure office building. The receptionist gives you a visitor badge. That badge lets you walk around the building, but only for a few hours. Once it expires, you can't get in anymore. Now, let's say you have a government-issued ID on file with the front desk. That ID doesn't give you access to every room directly. Instead, it lets the receptionist issue a fresh visitor badge whenever the old one expires. In OAuth2 terms, the visitor badge is your access token, short-lived and gives you direct access to protected resources. The ID on file is your refresh token. It doesn't get you in directly, but it lets you get a new access token when you need one. So there's a key difference between our visitor badge analogy and the actual OAuth2 refresh grant, and that's that you don't have to go back to the front desk. From the user's perspective, the refresh grant is actually seamless. Let's take a look at how it works. When we request the refresh, the server is going to check our refresh token, and if it's still valid, it'll issue us a new access token. What does that mean? The user is re-authenticated and their token is good for its full lifespan again. But the user didn't have to do anything. No new login, no interruption to their work, just a new token in play, and I can go use the app the same as I have been. So a refresh grant is a really good idea for something like a mobile app, because nobody wants to have to continually log back in just to scroll Instagram some more. Another place you might see the refresh grant in action is if you have a long-running job in your app, because you want to be able to keep that authentication alive while the batch job is running. Obviously, if you get kicked out of the app before the job finishes and you have to sign back in to start it over, you're setting yourself up to never finish the batch job. You might think of this in the analogy as the cleaning crew who has to come in at night to clean the office building. You don't want them to constantly be kicked out every hour or two while they're doing their cleaning work. So where would a refresh grant be a bad idea to implement? The obvious example that pops into my head has to do with high security app contexts. So while I'm a big fan of mobile apps not requiring me to sign in constantly, there's one that I would rather sign in every time, and that's my bank app. So what are some ways that a refresh grant implementation will protect your identity and access? Well, the first is rotation. Anytime you get a new access token, the refresh grant will invalidate the old access token. So you're always protected, you'll always be safe, even if the old key gets compromised. There's only one valid token. The other way it protects you is through revocation. When your refresh token, the long-lived one, gets canceled or invalidated, it will automatically invalidate all of the access tokens it's ever assigned. This is sort of like deactivating all of the key cards at the hotel when you check out. So that's the OAuth2 refresh grant. A little bit less about Civil War generals and more about not having to log yourself in all the time while still remaining safe. We'll see you next time.